What's going on, y'all? Gonzo's Convos, Season 5, Episode, now we're on 14. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Monica from SoCal, and I am a TikTok creator. I am Mini Money Mo on TikTok.
Okay. So what brought you to want to pursue being a TikTok creator?
Um, I just had fun. I posted a video, and it was fun just interacting with different people. And I would just post little funny videos, and I had a very small following. And then I had someone I met on TikTok. She introduced me to going live, and then from there, it just kind of took off.
I
So
got you.
it's
And
kind of interesting.
I've checked out some of the videos. A lot of it being like work related or like being in the
Yeah, a lot of
office.
them are just dumb, funny ones that I recreate. I
But
just do it for laughs.
believe it or not, I feel like a lot of people can relate to those same stories, those same type of comedy type deal.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what a lot of my videos are, like a lot of office stuff too, where you have
right.
those coworkers and just stuff.
Yeah. Do you work in the office as well?
I do, yeah. That's where I make most of my videos at the office.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
Mhm.
noticed. So what exactly do you do outside of TikTok?
Billing, bookkeeping. Yeah, I'm a mom. I go to school. I work full time. So, and then TikTok's my little side hustle now.
Wow. So very, very busy.
Yes, I keep
Man.
busy.
So yeah, with all that, I'm surprised you found time to wanna make it on the podcast. Like that's that takes skill, I think, because I
Yeah.
feel like if I had all that, like I wouldn't be able to find time for anything else.
I do like to do like collabs and stuff though. Like I like meeting up with the other creators and seeing what they do with TikTok and outside of TikTok, social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like as
It's
far as going live, as for myself, I usually go live maybe like once a week, maybe if even that.
okay.
I don't go live as often as I should.
Uh,
But it's mostly just posting my podcast content, stuff like that. So that's what you'll see all my social media is about,
mhm.
type of deal.
I started doing live regularly. Like I have a set schedule because I would get a lot of requests. Like people ask me, when are you going live next? What time? So I just set it so that people knew what time to come look for me.
I got you. So
That's
how
that's what
long have
kind
you?
of grew. Huh?
So how long have you been going live now?
Since July. When I started in July, I had maybe around 7,000 and I'm about 60,000 right now. So just from
Yeah,
going live is where like they came from. They
yeah,
come, they listen to me read, they watch me eat. It's kind of weird, but it's just kind of like having lunch, chilling with these people. But it's nice.
yeah. Do you think it's weird that you can't like see them, just only see like what they type out and send?
So I'm super shy, so it was hard for me to even start going live because it was really uncomfortable. Like if I'm in public, I can't speak to people. There's no way I can get up and talk to a room full of people.
Yeah,
But with live, it's like you can't see their faces, you just see their chat and stuff. So it's a little, you get comfortable with it.
right. I feel like
Yeah.
also that means the people that are like sending the chats kind of get
Uh-huh.
bold and say whatever they want to
Oh,
say.
they do. I get a ton of trolls. I get a lot of trolls. These people that say things in the comments, they would never say things like that to you in person, but
Yeah, let me
they get
guess.
good.
One of them was the fix your lashes thing. Was
I
that one
don't
of
know.
them?
No, they always say like they'll come in and they're just trolls. So they're like, "Oh, she's wearing a wig," or "You have a lazy eye," or like just dumb things. And I'm just like, okay, like
I've
sure.
seen, yeah, I've seen all of that.
It's
And then there was one where they try to get you to say masturbate in some other type of way, and it's like, what is going on
they
here?
do that, and I fall for it sometimes because their username. Like if you read their usernames out loud, it's something dirty. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's
they do
I don't
that.
know. They get clever with it, but at the
Uh
same
huh.
time, it's like the fact that they put so much time and
Uh huh.
effort into being clever as a troll is crazy to me.
Yeah, well, I go with the trolls. Like I like them, like because it's still interaction. There's still, your algorithm, the way it works and everything. You got a lot of people in your live, a lot of people commenting. It still works in your favor. So when they come in and
Yeah.
say things like, "Oh, you got a wig," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just got this on Amazon," or like I joke about it. Or they're like, "Oh, were you like you were born a male?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," like you could tell. Like I thought they did a good job shaving that example. Like I'll say stupid stuff like that. Like you just gotta go with it sometimes.
I like that. I like that. You just kind of
Yeah.
play with it. I like that.
Because a lot of people will get mad, and that's the thing is if you're on live and you're fighting with someone in the chat, like you're the one who's going to get flagged. You're the one who's going to, get
Yeah.
unbanned or something.
And
So,
that's the other thing about TikTok. I feel like is if you're like frequently going live a lot, you'll
hmm
realize like it's very sensitive. Like you can't say
uh,
certain things, you can't do certain things. I don't even know
yeah,
if you can wear like a crop top or anything as a female
it's
because
like PG-13. is
Yeah,
what they want you to be. PG-13. It's like you can't smoke, you can't vape, you can't drink. Like, yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy.
It's
And then
it's
people
crazy.
will flag you, just haters will just flag you and try to get you bananaed or banned. So it's hard.
Yeah, that's right. You can say banned. We're not on TikTok. You
Okay.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm under the explicit category, so you can say and do pretty much
Okay.
whatever you want to do.
All right. So I could drink, I could smoke here.
I mean, I have my drink here, and then I
Oh,
got
okay.
I'm smoking right here. So yeah,
Okay.
is that a Powerade?
Hmm. I got my pen right here on the side though. I was like, okay.
You said you got the what?
I
The
got my
pen?
pen over here on the side though. I was like, I had to hit it before I came on. I was a little nervous.
Oh, is it the dab pen? Huh?
Yeah, it's a little pen.
That's how I know you come from Cali.
Yep.
That is very much a Cali thing to get the dab pans going.
You know what? I didn't realize how strict it was in other places. Like my sister lives in Washington and she was working at a shop and they
Yeah.
only have like two types. But here in Cali, you
Hmm.
can get so many different brands, variations, like the different, like the cartridges. Like there they have just like the basic, like little screw on
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, it's weird.
Shit. I'm originally from Colorado, so they just stick to the blunts and joints out there.
That's all they have too. They don't let you have like the blunt, like the resin or the
Well,
wax.
people have everything out there as well. Yeah, even the blacks. But I mean, it's mainly like people who smoke blunts or joints, whatever.
Oh,
They prefer to roll it up. You'll see
yeah.
bongs here and there. I'm not a big fan of that though.
Oh, yeah.
Dab pens are all right, but straight up dab wax, the type that you cook over the thing. No,
Uh huh. Yeah,
no,
that's tough.
that put
That's
me
tough.
on my ass, and I was thinking about everything.
I can do edibles once in a while, but I can't like I if I have an edible, I have to be home and have no responsibilities for the day because I'm out.
Right. And I feel like when it comes to edibles, people don't know the intake a lot of the
Hmm.
time. They're like, wow, it's not kicking in right away. Let me eat more. And
Uh-huh.
then
So they take
hit them
more.
all. Hit
I've
them
had
all.
those too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, no.
edibles aren't too bad. You just got to know the intake and know when it's supposed to hit type of deal.
Hmm.
So people like to rush it. So they're like, oh, it's not hitting right away. Gotta take more. And then that's what they do.
It'll hit.
Yeah. It hits hard if you depending on how much you take. But going back to the social media talk, would you say that out of all the social media apps that are out there, would you say TikTok is like the most toxic social media app there is out there?
Ooh, toxic. Yeah, I would say it's toxic.
Yeah.
It
What makes
is.
you what makes you say that?
I think just the people that you interact with, like you have people from all over the world. At least on Instagram, I think the following is smaller and it's just the way they interact there. You have to go in your comment section and leave a comment. And on TikTok is they have more access to, I think. When you're on live, you're just like in real time. It's happening in real time. And
I got
sometimes when I get messages on Instagram, it's like it's super negative. I'll just delete it. I rarely see it. But on live when it's happening and your like initial reaction, everything's happening, it's just kind of it's a lot to deal with.
I got you. I just feel
Mhm.
like it's more like okay. So TikTok has its pros and cons. I feel like I've met most of the guests that I've had on the podcast as a general
Uh,
whole.
uh,
I've met from TikTok.
mhm.
Those have been the individuals that were mostly down to collab and down to do that type of thing. Instagram's work and Snapchat, believe it or not, it's work too. But
Uh-huh.
the cons of TikTok is you'll see different comments, you'll see people hating on each other.
Mhm.
People are real quick to put other people on blast, through a
Yep.
TikTok video, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. There's
Let me
so many
take your money.
creators too that have beef. And like it's crazy
Yeah.
because you can go into one and they're talking about another one and another one. Like I stay out of all that drama. Like we don't I don't have drama in mind. Like I will sit there and read poetry. Like that's they come to listen to that kind of stuff. We don't talk drama.
I
It's
like that.
really chill.
I
But
like
there
that.
is a lot of that. I know a lot of creators who have
Right.
drama with other ones.
Right. And it's not hard to like fall into that loophole, and then now you're
Mm-mm.
listening to the drama, and you're like, fuck.
Yes,
I
and
like
there's a lot of people who lose friends because they choose sides, and now they
it.
can't go to this stream. They have to stay on this stream, and if someone sees them on this stream, it's just it's
But
hard.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of fuck with some cheese man here and there, but a
Yeah,
little too much, like that gets a little
yeah,
crazy to me. It stresses
hmm,
me out. But
yep,
I feel like that's the main con of TikTok. Instagram doesn't really have too many cons anymore.
yeah.
Have you
I
seen
feel
even?
like on TikTok though, it's like there's a lot more fake like people on the app. Like I've
Yeah.
met people like they post all these things. Like mine, it's not too serious. It's more dumb stuff. Like I make light of situations and stuff. But there's people who post relationship advice and they post all this how they're so positive. If my girl needs this and my girl needs that, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And in real life, there it's nothing like that. Because I've met people through the app and it's just like whoa, like
So you said
you
so
have
they're like
all this positivity, but you're not that person.
being kind of like hypocritical in a way.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, it looks nice. So you can't believe the people you see on TikTok is just like a facade. Like, a lot of it's for show.
I believe it. I mean, but I feel like that's with social media in general. You know what I'm saying? Even on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
you see like a cool post, but it's like, is it real though? Like, is that
Yeah. Well,
legit?
you relate to a lot of it too. Like it hits you. But the person saying it sometimes it's just like you look at them and there's a lot of people we idolize and we look at them, we're like, oh, there's this great person. Like, because people too in mine, they're like, oh, you're so sweet. Are you this sweet? Are you always this nice? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I have a spicy side. I'm like, I'm not this sweet little, dainty thing you see reading your poetry all the time. Like, I have a different
Yeah.
side to me. You only see a little bit.
I like how you said the spicy
But
side. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I have a lot of cousins, a lot of family members that say that shit. And I'm like, no, we
uh,
need to get spicy right now. Like that's
yeah.
not the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's funny as
It's a
hell.
lot.
But
Yeah.
hey, it comes in the Latin culture, I guess.
Yep. So I've
So
heard.
what out of the stereotypes, right? What
Mhm.
Latin nationality do you think is the craziest?
I want to say Latinas. Like, I think we are.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, but
crazy.
like what coming from what nationality?
Mexicans. My kind.
For real?
I don't know.
For real? I
Well,
mean, I
because
could,
they're the only kinds I really know. I don't really know any hot headed, like, any other. I don't know. Maybe. I know it's a little wild Puerto Rican, some wild ones, but.
yeah. So me coming from
Uh-huh.
Chicano culture, I've seen crazy
Okay.
Latinas, and I've seen it all, right? But
Uh,
I strongly believe, and I love Puerto Rico. I love
oh,
Puerto Rican
shoot.
females. Like they forever, you know what I'm saying, catch my eye. But they're crazy. Like they could be on
Really?
at least
I
the
only
one.
know a couple, and the ones that I do know are a little wild. They're a little crazy,
I
but
don't say at least like an
I'll
ex
keep
I
it in
had
mind.
way back when, like before I even started podcasting. Yeah,
Mhm.
very very much so crazy. You know,
Yeah.
the type where it's like if you cheat, I'm chopping your dick off type. Like, and she was
Yeah.
serious. And
Really.
that same person went and cheated like multiple times. So I'm like, how does this
Oh,
work?
okay, yeah. I haven't had to deal with any of those, luckily, but not in my
It's,
area.
it's very stressful. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So as far as like this generation goes, though, do you
Mm.
feel? What do you think are the pros and cons of living in this generation? I'm just gonna start with that.
It's tough. Like, I think social media can ruin a lot of relationships. Like, I
Mhm.
have a lot of problems with social media and relationships. Like, there's a lot of jealousy, there's so much access to you. Like, for myself, like, I'm in a relationship, and there's a lot of problems where people will come in and say things like that are out of pocket in my chat or on videos and stuff like that. So,
About your significant other.
no, about myself. Like they're just inappropriate towards me. Like just
Um,
I can sit on live and say things like I'm taken. I'm in a relationship. And men don't care. They'll sit there and they're just like savage and they'll like talk crap or they'll say things and it's just like it's hard like to be respectful to your partner and have
but
social media at the same time. There's like a lot that you
I
have
feel,
to do it
I
for
feel
that
that.
security. I think it makes a lot of people insecure in relationships, and I think that it makes cheating way easier too because you have access to people from all over and yeah.
Right?
And back in the day, like I'm from the 80s, like I grew up in the 80s, 90s. So like
No
we didn't
way.
have that. I didn't have a cell phone until like it was like senior year in high school.
You
So it
said
was hard
80s or
like
90s? You said 80s and 90s?
I'm from the
No.
80s, yeah. So yeah. So like my like
I would
growing
never
up,
thought.
we had pagers. When you cheat, like you're gonna send a page, like it was hard. Like it's harder to cheat that way. It's like you write them a letter, you send them a page, you
Right.
know.
I would have never
And
guessed.
now you just send a text. Huh?
I would have never guessed you came from the 80s. I could say
Yeah,
it.
I
I
get
could
that.
see
I
it
have a
like,
21-year-old. My oldest is 21 years old.
bro, I'm 21. What the fuck?
Oh shit.
Ain't no
Yeah. So
way, man.
I could be your mom. I could be your mom.
How do like?
So
I
the
just
generations is way different. It's way different. But I can relate to your generation because I have a child your age. So I kind of like, Not a
You know,
child your age. I'm sorry, I'm not calling you a child, but you know what I mean.
I'll take it as long as I don't look old myself. I'll take it.
Yeah,
But no, you look like you could be like maybe like a couple years older than me at most.
no. Well,
Like
thank
that's
you.
it. But
Yeah, so it is toxic.
us letting people don't get old till we're like in our 60s, maybe
Yeah, yeah,
50s. We'll start getting the gray, but we'll still be pretty fit, and then
yeah.
60s start hitting us real bad type deal. So, hey,
Yeah.
we don't look old
What do
yet.
you think about dating in this generation? Like for you being from this generation?
Ooh, I have a lot to say about that. So, dating and the way people socialize in this generation is all kinds of out of whack. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. I feel like people rely on technology too much to
Mm-hmm.
want to find somebody and even to socialize with one another. There's not so
Mm-hmm.
much of that face to face interaction like the era you come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people talk more face to face. They didn't have the technology. So I feel like with that, that leads to a lot of toxicity. That leads to a lot of
Mm-hmm.
cheating. Leads more has more leeway into cheating. Due to
Mm-hmm.
this technology. And I just feel like people aren't getting the authentic, getting to know each other part.
Yeah. So I see that because like I've met people online
Right.
where we communicate that way. It's nice. It seems like cool. You're romanticizing all this shit in your head, and then you
Mhm.
meet up, and it ain't like that at all. They're just not this person that you put into that text, or they're not the person that you thought was texting you. It's just kind of weird. It's not that organic connection. It's something you kind of made up, and it's
Right.
hard to meet people online that way. I
It is.
prefer in person.
Yeah, very much so. And that's why I feel like I don't really connect with the generation I live in. I feel like I
Hmm.
should have been born earlier, like in the '90s type era, because
Yeah.
I'm with that type of vibe, or maybe even like if it still was the early 2000s, I'd still be fine.
Hmm. Are your parents still together?
Yeah,
So do
yeah.
you see their relationship and how they were and like admire certain aspects of it, like from their dating?
The so on a personal note, the only thing I could admire was that they battled through all the rust and still
Hmm.
stayed together for my sake and for my siblings' sake.
See, and that's something we don't have in this generation either. It's like people are quick to run. As soon as there's a problem, it's just like they'll just find someone new so quick. It's easy.
Let
It's just a click of a couple buttons and you got all a list of people waiting for you.
So do you feel like that reason is the reason why you see so many like baby mamas these days? You feel like that's
Yes and no. Like for my situation, so I was married for 10 years. I was married for 10 years and we separated, but we divorced. And I would say now dating is really difficult for me to stay in a relationship because you've already had all this traumatic experiences from other relationships. So now you're trying to start something new. And I don't think everyone gets a fair chance anymore because now you have all these things that you've already gone through. So as soon as you see one little thing or you have a feeling that you felt in a previous relationship, it's just kind of like, it makes it toxic. It starts like getting really bad
I got you. I feel like as
and you
far as
quit.
I feel like as far as individuals that are around my age, they look at the
Hmm.
wrong things for relationships. And I said this in past,
Hmm.
but I love
Yeah.
bringing it up because it's such an issue. And they look so on the female side, what I get is they look at zodiac signs
Oh shit.
that match with their sign or whatever. They look
Uh-huh.
at height. They got to be 6 foot and tall. Doesn't matter how tall she is.
Hmm.
They got to be 6 foot,
Yeah. Yes.
and they gotta have they gotta make six figures.
Yes. But that's what society says. That's what society makes you believe that. That's what the connection. You have to first have these boxes checked. And they don't look for the connection and stuff. They overlook that there might be a really good connection there. You might have best friend vibes and they're really good for you, but they can't look past these other little things that, society
But like
makes us believe that we
those
need.
things that they look for, those ridiculous things. Like, where
Uh,
do you think that started from? Like, was there like a female rapper that made that type of
I
thing? Was
don't
it
know.
could be
It was never been a thing of mine. Like, so maybe it is that just that generation that started it, but
it's
it's
so
never been
terrible.
like, I mean, I'm not even 5 feet, so height has never really been an issue for me when I'm dating, but
Right.
no.
Especially being shorter than 5 foot. If you're like, I need a dude that's 6 foot and tall, I'd be like, are you for real?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many other like I don't
And
know.
I feel like the generation too, like of women, like a lot of them are not like independent. Like I had to grow up because I was a teen mom, so I had to grow up super fast. So I had to take care of myself. I had to take care of a child. So I'm
Right.
pretty independent. Like I like to take care of myself. I could provide for myself. So when I look for a partner, I'm not looking for someone to provide for me. I'm looking, and I think now generation, it's like it's really hard for a young female to be able to provide for herself. Like it's really hard out there too. So
But then
maybe
again,
that's a reason that they're
but
looking
then
for a provider.
but then again, well, they're looking for those qualities as a provider, which is weird to me. But at the same time,
Hmm.
you said they don't fit. They need someone to provide for them. But at
Hmm.
the same time, a lot of them are like, independent woman, independent this,
Yeah.
no man, and it's like,
But they say that when you're an independent woman, I don't think you're looking for someone, maybe they're looking for someone that could take care of themselves if they're an independent woman. Like I look
yeah,
for a man who has his own, who could take care of it who would stand on his own.
right.
But
But as
I don't
far
know.
and then as far as the dudes, I feel like dudes are real quick to cheat. You know what I'm saying? They're real quick to go and swing
Hmm.
to one female to another, no matter if they're
Well, they
taking it.
have that leverage, they have, they don't care.
They don't.
If they
I
have
would,
all these qualities that all these women are after,
yeah.
they're
If they're
the elite bunch.
if they're that 6 foot dude, I
Uh,
mean, I really feel like the six figures doesn't really truly matter as much as the sign and the height. I feel like
really?
it's just the third quality. Yeah, I
I
really
don't
do.
know because I've seen some pretty questionable people together. Like, you look at them and they're like an odd couple. It's like, oh, then you look at them and you're like, oh, he must have money, or oh, she must have money type of
Right.
relationship.
Like there's those situations. I'm not saying those don't happen. There's definitely those situations, but I'm saying as far as like my people my age, they look for the height first.
The
Like the
height,
height
the
is
height.
gonna catch their eye. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I say the money is like the more so the third quality because
Hmm.
I feel like if they match their zodiac sign and they're over 6 foot, they
Hmm.
probably have to have that six figures to make something work.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I believe in zodiacs to not in the sense of you have to date someone in the zodiac sign, but I've had certain ones where I'm like, oh my god, that person was like terrible, and it'll say like you look at the zodiac signs and it has all these qualities, and it's just like the person relates or is those qualities. Their zodiac sign said they had those qualities, and you
So
actually see them in the person, but. I don't know. I've never dated someone and been like, oh, it's because they are this, or it's because they're
right,
that. I
okay.
can't date you because of this.
So what was the zodiac sign that didn't fit well? That didn't sit
I
well with.
would say Leo because they're super like, according to the zodiac sign, they're like super like dominant. They like control and they think they're just kind of stuck. And Virgo, I'm very stubborn and I like control. And so I don't know. I think like looking at their qualities and my qualities, it just left for a lot of like you know
I got you.
fights.
But like, let's say you said you did have a significant other, no, or no?
I do.
Yeah. So let's say you didn't, and you
Uh-huh.
met someone that was a Leo, but he had like he had a cool vibe, he had a good vibe upon meeting him, and you got your interest on.
Hmm.
Would you still pursue that, or would you be like
Yeah.
still
Oh
like,
yeah.
or would you still be
Yeah, I'm not like,
oh,
oh, one Leo made them all bad. It's nothing like
okay,
that. It's
okay,
just kind of like you can kind of see some qualities or some traits that it says your sign has, and
right,
you can kind of see them in a person sometimes.
okay, that's a good
But yeah, I
answer.
don't run. But you
That's
know
a
what's
good.
funny is I do say because I have two daughters that are Scorpios and they're so mean, and I'm like we butt heads so much, and I'm like I don't know if I could ever date a Scorpio.
I don't know.
They're mean.
So that's good you don't do that because there's a lot that do. They
Yeah.
have one bad run in with, let's say, a Gemini, and they're like, no more
Yeah,
Gemini for
I'll
me.
never.
Like the Geminis
Yeah.
are now in a group that they cannot talk to, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like everyone's different. Like,
Yeah, I
and
don't go off on that.
I myself, I'm an Aquarius. I say
Hmm.
Aquaman as a joke because I don't really fuck with zodiac signs. But
Uh,
what's it called? Last time, usually when I tell people that, they're like, so you're this
oh
and
yeah.
that. I can't
Uh-huh.
fuck with you, and I'm like, what did I even do? Like, I'm just
Yeah. Yeah, no, not like that.
yeah. So I don't know. Zodiac sign thing is a little weird to me. Like it's interesting, but I'm not gonna apply it to people if that
What
makes sense.
about age though? What about age? Does that matter to you?
It depends on what you mean. Like
Okay.
if
Well, like
you
for myself, I'm older, but I like people think I'm younger. So I do get a lot of younger men like
Mhm.
in the dating scene.
Right,
And like my last two, like my ex was younger than me by 5 years. My current boyfriend, he's younger than me by 10 years. And it's like I didn't know he was that young when I started dating him. And I always say like I can't date younger because of the maturity level. But when I date like my age too, it's I feel like the maturity level is the same as the 30-year-old. You know, it's just like
It just
it just depends
depends.
on the person. It's not
Yeah,
like you say you have an old soul or you like, you know, you're from this generation.
right,
So
right.
do you put them all in the same bracket?
So for me, obviously, I'm not gonna date someone that's 50 years old or older. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. But like, if I'm not like against age like that, and I feel
Hmm.
like even if I was up there in age, I wouldn't be so
Hmm.
much against younger. I just don't want them to be like chasing money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because that's always a thing, right? Like, if the older dude is with the younger woman, it's got to be money or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know, like for younger guys too, they say like, "Oh, I don't want to date someone my age because they're immature." The females are like immature and stuff. So, I don't
I
know.
don't.
I've
I just
heard
gotta
that.
see them out. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I could sit here and say, like I said, this generation's whack. People don't know how to socialize, all this and that. But I still like to give it a chance and see where it goes.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna let one thing ruin the whole thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because there could be the
Hmm.
one apple that I picked out of the rest of them.
Yeah.
That could be the good one, and
Hmm.
that could potentially come out to be something good. You know.
That's good.
So that's my intake on that.
Yeah. Well, for a long time, I was like, I could never date younger. I'm not dating younger. I refuse to date younger. Now I'm like, here I am dating younger.
A lot of people say they won't date younger because of the immaturity factor, but
Hmm.
you'll get people like me that are more
Yeah.
mature than the rest type of deal
Hmm.
and have a bigger mindset type of deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it all depends on how they grew up, what influences
Hmm.
they had. Like for me, I was practically raised by my grandparents type of deal,
Uh.
so I feel like that kind of gave me a lot of maturity at a young age type of deal.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it just like you said, it depends on who you talk to, who you meet type deal.
Hmm. Yeah.
So as of right now, you're not against dating anyone younger. Like,
No. Well,
so
no,
what?
not right now. It's going good. So I
Right.
haven't noticed a difference in age. Like I kind of felt like it's weird, you know, for an older woman to date a younger man, but I haven't noticed the age gap. Like it hasn't been, you know.
I got you. So what would be the pros, do you think, of this generation? Like we already went and discussed the cons. What do you think are the pros?
Well, I think the pros too is social media or like communication, like cell phones and stuff. Like you're able to contact your person right away if you need to talk to them. Like it has its plus to that. It does, and it's cute, like being able to post them and just I don't know, like express love openly like that to them.
I got you.
But it's also the same way that it's the same thing that gets in the way of relationships. So I think there's good and bad in all of it.
So I feel like on the technology communication factor, that's like in the middle. That's like in
Yeah.
the middle. Socializing, I would say, is in the con section because people don't really
Hmm.
socialize face to face like that unless they're already
Yeah.
together. They do. And then I would put technology as a pro because I feel like people in this generation are getting real creative with this technology we have.
Hmm.
You know,
I think
people
you
are
could
getting
like you make your partner feel like special. There's certain things you do, and like I know like you can send a message of reassurance or something to your partner, and it's just kind of like I don't know, gives you some types of feels, and it's nice. It's not. I mean, I think that's a plus. You
so
get that. We didn't have that
and
before. We used to have to make CDs or cassette tapes and send them to our, give them to
right,
our
right. So in all
person.
honesty, I stopped doing the those type of texts.
Really? Why?
It was because of that relationship I was talking about. Because I did all of that. Like I
Mm.
was like, I
Yeah,
guess
but
you could
not
say
everybody's the
very
same.
I guess you could say very simpy. So because of that, I feel like that's
But
where
I think that's the problem with the generation. It's like you do something sweet for a woman and you're considered a simp. It's like you're not allowed to have emotions at heart and express yourself
right,
to a
but
female without being considered a simp. Like
right,
your
but
boys are gonna be like, you did that for her, like you're a simp.
no,
Like,
no, no, no. So
no.
let me tell you where that came from because I feel like dudes do that. There's still dudes that do that,
Uh,
and it's a good thing. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think that's a good thing, and the female should recognize
mhm,
that type of shit. But there's times where a dude will do that for a specific female, and then she'll kind of take that for granted and kind of push it away or do whatever she wants
mhm.
with that because she feels like
Yeah.
because the dude's doing that, he's kind of just giving all of his attention and all of his energy to her. She could do whatever
Mhm.
she pleases with that. So I feel like
Okay.
that's where that came from. And it's like you shouldn't simp because of that reason.
Oh yeah,
That's where
that's tough.
That's
But
why I
you
feel
can't
like
let one ruin it for all. Like, I mean, I think some people are appreciative of it, and you know,
majority of majority of exes I had and females I talked to, not so much. They would say that they appreciate that type of stuff, but then when I would kind of reach out and do that type of thing, then it
hmm
would always kind of go sideways for me. So I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. You might be right, but I'm saying like speaking on a personal level, as far as the
yeah.
ones I met, no, no, no.
So, because I'm from an older generation, like I do the words of reassurance, I will send a text. But
Well, that
like what
would
I like to do is I actually write notes. Like I have like a drawer full of notes from my current boyfriend because like the first night, the first time that I met him, like I left a little note on his windshield. And then ever since then, like whenever we like visit or whatever, because he lives an hour and a half away from me.
yeah,
Whenever we like get together, like I always have to stuff a note in his bag or in his pocket or somewhere. And then like so he started doing it where so we just write each other like little love notes, and it's really cute. Like when we find the love note or we
yeah.
like, so it's not a text message, it's not technology, it's still
Right.
writing each other like little
I
things.
fuck with that. See, I like that. That's what we need to go back to.
So it's just finding little ways to I don't know
That I
give them
like.
that
I
love.
like that. Very much old school and very much the way to go.
Hmm
Like, 'cause I feel like writing a letter means so much more
Yeah.
than just texting. Because
Yeah.
everybody's used to texting, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like
hmm
that work definitely. But as
Yeah.
far as like words of affirmations over text, I don't think that works very much.
Yeah. Well,
So
no, it's nice though sometimes. Like if you fall asleep and you wake up to a message and it's just like, hey, like just something really sweet and you wake up to that, it's just it gives you you wake up feeling really good and like appreciative
yeah,
of your partner sometimes.
yeah. But you also appreciate the old school ways like I do. So
Hmm
that stuff would very much work for you, and they don't have to worry about getting played with and that type
Yeah.
of thing versus
Yeah.
someone who's 18, 19, 20,
hmm
21. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, all right, I have all of his attention now. That's all I
Yeah.
needed.
Yep.
Validation. That's the big thing is validation.
Yeah. Validation.
Everyone wants validation these days. I don't understand.
Hmm Yeah.
Where do you think that's coming from? Like why people are seeking validation and clout and all this other stuff over everything else.
I don't know. I think they want to feel seen. I think a lot of people just want to feel seen. Like it just makes them feel important.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm
It's nice sometimes to feel validated.
right, but
I
I
mean,
feel
if
like
you're always seeking it, you need that to feel okay with yourself, then that's a problem. But when you get it, and it's kind of like it's also like a good feeling sometimes too. Like when you get all this love and all this, it's just like it makes you feel good. And
I
I
got
think that maybe that's an addicting feeling to people. And when you're not getting that validation, you're like, wait, I'm lacking something now.
I got you. So I can tell you, like when I first started social media, I started podcasting. That that validation was starting to come, and I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm
I just I'm not so big on all the attention on myself.
Yeah.
I don't like all
hmm
that, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's where the bad stuff comes in and all this other
Oh
stuff.
no, it does. You gotta stay
You know,
humble.
so I feel like people that are searching for validation and searching for clout and
hmm
all this other stuff, I feel like they're not very aware of what can come with all
hmm
that attention going on there. If that makes sense. They just want people to see them and know them and that's it, but they're not knowing the
Yeah.
consequences.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, so like me, I don't feel like I'm out there trying to expand and meet new. Like I've met a lot of people, and I interact with a lot of the same people. Like I love it. Like I like when I have my OGs come in and we interact and we just talk
yeah,
and see what we did the weekend and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy.
yeah.
I'm not out there like okay, like I don't know, seeking that
See, I like
validation.
that. I like that because you and several other people I've had on this podcast have those same exact lives. I had the
Hmm
OG that have them as their moderators or
Yeah,
whatever, and they just always go live and it's like they say it's like their own little community, their own little family.
yeah. They're like, that's what it feels like. You have these supporters who just like they're out there cheering you on and stuff, and it's nice. It feels
And
like a
those
little fam.
and those are the
Hmm
type of lives that should be happening more often. So
hmm
often I see lives where it's like someone goes live and then they're just kind of trash talking the people that are watching for no reason, like
Yeah.
showing them that type of negative energy. And I'm like,
hmm
where is this coming from? You know,
Yeah.
there's been times I popped in, because I always pop in and say, whatever. I introduce myself, like, hey, tapping
hmm
into the podcast studio. How's your day going? Sometimes
Mhm.
they just like ignore it, go on for the
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, all right. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't mean to make your day bad by asking how you're doing. So, you know,
Yeah. We get a lot of those too though, but there's also like your supporters will have your back in the chat too, and that's nice. Like so your moderators will just boot the negative people that come in and have like really mean things to say about you.
right.
And it's nice. Like you do have people who have your back and who are there supporting you and
Yeah. I would say all in all, I do like the live feature. I really do like it. And I feel like you said, you meet a lot of cool people.
Mhm.
Um, I would say, you know how like you go and you connect, you know what I'm saying? Like to go, if you wanted to battle, you can, but if you don't
Uh-huh.
want to, just tell, yeah. I like doing
I
that,
like
but
that.
I don't like the battle feature. I
Oh,
think
you
that's
don't? Yeah. So I do that because that's it's money for me. So I
right.
do that,
Right. But I
but
don't
I
go
don't go
live.
on and do just that. So some creators, they go on and that's all they do. But like I'll go on and I'll spend time with them, like my people, and I'll read to them or I'll talk to them,
Yeah,
and then I'll go into battles.
right.
So I do both, a little
So
both.
I use the connectors, just to, I guess network, talk to people.
Hmm.
I'm very social, but I don't like the battle feature because I don't go live enough. So I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
really have the people behind me to really go and win
Yeah.
on
So
the
you
battle.
decline them. Yeah.
Unless it's a 2v2 and that person gonna carry. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, then I'll
Oh,
do it.
you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm the one getting carried in them shits. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of times where I connect and they're just like, want to battle, and I'm like, nah, I'm just
No.
here to
Yeah.
vibe
I'm just
out.
chilling.
And then
Hmm.
they leave. Like it's like they're just looking for people to battle. Like they're not
Yeah, but
even
that's
here.
what I enjoyed too. People like come in and listen to the music with me, like stuff like that.
Right,
Chill.
right.
It's
And I've had
fun.
people that done that too. You
Hmm.
kind of get a hit or a miss. I feel like when it comes to the connect thing.
Hmm.
But what kind of music you listen to?
I always put R&B, 90s R&B on
Robbie,
when I'm in there.
Key Sweat.
Hell
Yeah, I
yeah.
know who Key Sweat is. I'm not. I'm young, but I know that shit.
Yep.
All right.
I grew
I'm
up
trying
with
to
all
think.
that.
I'm trying to think who else. I know Key Sweat was like a major one. Um,
Casey and JoJo, like Boys to Men, that type of stuff.
Boys to Men is another one.
Hmm.
I haven't heard Casey and JoJo.
Yeah. What?
Nah. Damn. Let's go back to 90s hip hop. I know a little bit
Yeah.
about R&B, but 90s hip hop, like, that's one
Yeah,
of my
90s hip hop was good too.
Warren G, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nate Dogg.
All
Yeah,
that.
all that. Who's your favorite 90s rapper?
Oh, it was Tupac.
Tupac? I feel like everybody from the West Coast says Tupac.
And it's always Tupac versus Biggie.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I say Tupac was better.
Hmm.
A lot of people would disagree with me, especially when I lived on the East Coast. So go figure,
Oh, you
right?
lived on the East Coast, yeah.
I did for a little bit. I lived in Maryland, but
Oh,
I guess
okay.
originally from Colorado. So Colorado, believe it or not, has a West Coast vibe to it. Obviously, not on
Really?
the coast or anything. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
Mountain West, but a lot of different areas have like a West Coast type of vibe to it. So a lot of people in Colorado are more so on the West Coast, old
Hmm.
school rap versus East Coast type deal. Like they'll still listen to East Coast, but West Coast is the majority.
Well, I'm SoCal, and we listen to everything. Like I feel like we have a lot of fans, Biggie fans here, Tupac, and
Yeah, and
so
Tupac,
we
yeah,
mess with them.
but I can't really say my favorite. I'd have to say NWA, probably my
Oh,
favorite.
really? Yeah, they're good too.
And then out of that group, probably Ice Cube. I always
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Ice Cube is good. I like Dre. I grew up
yeah.
with Dre too a lot.
And believe it or not, I watched his movies before I like ever
Before you
listened.
knew his music.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you a younger sibling? Do you have siblings like older?
yeah, but way younger. Like I could be the uncle type.
Oh,
That's
they're way younger. So you're the oldest then? Oh, okay.
yeah.
So
I was
usually like your older siblings introduce you to that kind of stuff. So what
well. I
got
had
you into it?
I had a lot of older cousins and stuff that I
Oh, okay.
spent a lot of time with. And that knew my grandparents very well too. They'd go always go and
Okay.
visit. So
Yeah.
I got a
So
lot of
even
good.
my oldest knows all that music. She listens to everything TLC. Like she
Oh
listens to
really?
all my 90s music.
What
She grew
about
up
what
with
about
it.
Chicano rappers like Baby Bash and fucking
Oh yeah. Baby Bash, MV Riders.
MB Rider? Everyone always brings up MB Riders when I say Baby Bash. I don't
Really?
no idea
I feel
why.
like they're in the same group.
I had
They're in the
I
same
have
group.
a black homie who's from Victorville, and I
Oh,
brought
okay.
him up,
I
and
know
he
that
knows
side.
who Baby Bash and MB Riders is, but I brought up Baby Bash, and he goes, "Yeah," and I know MB Riders, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Why does everyone always bring him up or bring them
Yeah.
up when I say Baby Bash? I don't know why.
Because they all came out like around the same time. There was not very many like Chicano ones anyway. There's like Little Rob. There was like a very small handful of them that came out at that time.
Look, out of Lil Rob, my favorite song is probably Summer Nights.
Oh,
Like,
that's a good one. Yeah.
yeah, that's
That's
my
probably
favorite.
the only one I even know.
I mean, there's others I know, just not
Yeah.
by the name, just by the sound.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mr. Capone was a good
Oh,
one.
yeah. I know who that
You
is.
know he's not Mexican though.
What is he?
He's Middle Eastern.
No, he isn't.
Swear on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
shoot.
just grew up in the barrio, like he grew up around Chicanos and stuff like that, so he
Oh,
adapted it.
wow. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Same with
Does he go live on TikTok? Is he the one?
yeah, he's gone live on
Oh,
TikTok before I actually saw before, and
yeah.
he
Okay.
even
Because I do
explained it.
see one old school rapper on there, and I think it's him. I think it was Mr.
It's
Capone.
probably Mr. Capone, and he was in a live battle, and the girl asked if he was Mexican. He was like, "Nope, my family's from the Middle East, but I grew up in the barrio," was what he said. It's like
That's
he grew up there.
crazy.
And I think Mr.
Yeah.
Criminal is the same way too.
Oh, wow. I really thought he was Mexican or something.
They look it, but
Mm-hmm.
Middle Eastern.
Crazy.
I didn't know Mr. Criminal was too, so I don't know
Hmm.
because they kind of came up around the same time too.
Hmm.
Mm,
It's interesting.
very interesting. What about kind of more so the new age rappers like King Lil G? You like King Lil G?
Mm-mm, I don't know who that is.
No, let
Uh-uh.
me put you on. Yeah, King Lil G. He has that
King
old school
Logi?
vibe, but he's like a
Really?
new rapper. Yeah,
No, I haven't heard of him.
you gotta listen to his stuff.
All right. I'll have to put me on to him.
Yep,
I
King
listen
Lil
to
G.
like a lot of the female rappers. I like that we have a lot of female rappers. I
I
like
like
Megan Thee
that too, but
Stallion, Cardi B.
there's one specific one I cannot stand for the life of me.
Who?
Sexy Red.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, please don't say Cardi B, because a lot of people hate on Cardi B, and I love her.
People hate on Cardi B, but I like Cardi B.
Yeah, I love
I
her.
like Cardi B. I have nothing against her. She's doing her thing,
Yeah.
you know. Her
Sexy Red. I've heard her songs recently, like because of the club and
nasty.
everything, that ski and stuff.
She's
Yeah.
she's gross. Keep that away from your kids.
Is she? That's funny.
There was a song where she was talking about she was talking about how her booty hole's brown
Oh.
and songs like that. And then she made a post how she's working so hard, her pussy's thing, and I was like, why would you say shit like
Oh
this?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand why. Why?
Okay, I
Like, what
haven't
is
heard
it?
her lyrically like that. Like her music is catchy though, like the things that she says for, but I don't listen to all that. Like
See, here's what I
I
noticed.
hear that.
People like the beats of people's songs, and they like
Hmm.
how their voice matches with the beat of the song. They're not catching
Hmm.
on to the lyrics. If you
Yeah.
listen to
But
the
then
lyrics,
again, when you were a kid, did you? Did
yeah,
you really, you knew the lyrics? Because
especially
there's
with
some
Warren
stuff that
G,
I sang back
absolutely.
in the day, and now I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe I used to sing this when I was a kid. I had no idea what it even meant.
Yeah,
Like,
there were a couple songs that had like the word slut in it, and I said it. My mom would
uh,
get pissed off, and I'm like, hey, it's part of the song. Like, we
yeah.
can't.
I don't even know what a slut is.
Yeah, tell me what a slut is. Like,
Yeah.
get in more trouble just for saying it again.
uh
Mm. But I mean, I get that, but I would still listen to like the words and the songs. I always wanted. I'm one of those people that like to learn the words of songs.
hmm Well, that's how I am now with like music. I really love like the lyrics. It's so I don't know Spanish. So like there's a lot of Spanish songs that I like that I could hear like I like the rhythm, like I like the vocals and everything, but I don't know what they're saying, so I can't listen to them because I love to listen to like the story of the what the song is saying.
Right. So
That's
believe it
how.
or not, I was in the same boat, but
Uh,
I was self taught since I was a kid, and
you
same
taught
with
yourself? Oh wow.
my pops. Yeah. So when they grew up in Colorado, in southern Colorado,
Hmm.
there was a lot of degrading back then. So
Oh, so.
a lot of my relatives were like, "No, we can't teach you Spanish. We got to teach you English." So yeah, I
Oh,
could
hmm.
not get degraded so bad. Like you might
Yeah,
look different, but
yeah.
at least you'll know their
Dang.
language type deal. So
So I
me,
can say things and I could have an accent. I could like pronounce things like heavily. I could say like I can sound like I know, but I don't know like
right?
fluently. It's
Because I
funny.
could tell you have a Chicana accent.
Uh like if somebody is in my chat typing stuff, I could read it in Spanish. I might not know everything it's saying, but I could do roll the R's and I could pronunciate pretty well. Which
Were you a Cholita back in the day?
no, I
No.
wasn't. So like no. No. I didn't grow up like I grew up like kind of hood, but I wasn't like chola.
I got you. I
But
got
my parents,
you.
so like my stepdad, he's white from Arkansas, and he's been my dad since I was 6. So it's just kind of like you lose that, like,
Your
Spanish part of being
biological
Mexican. Like, huh?
your biological father or like a
No,
stepfather?
my stepfather, the one who raised me. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
like white from Arkansas, who's like super redneck. And it wasn't like we just weren't authentic. In our household, there was no like Mexican food. It was just very
I got you.
whitewashed. And
I
so
got
from being from SoCal is just,
I got you. So yeah, I would
lost
say
it.
I feel that though, because I mean, maybe I'm mixed myself, but I don't know much
Uh-huh.
about my mom's side of family. She has like Japanese and European on that side,
Oh wow. Uh-huh.
hence the flag right there. But
Uh-huh.
I grew up around Chicano type vibe,
Uh-huh.
so I grew up learning ghetto Spanish first before I knew any other Spanish, before I knew how to complete sentences. So
Uh-huh.
I learned what cabrón man, I knew what bato man,
Yeah. Oh no, I know the
the
cuss
bad
words
words and
too. Yeah.
shit.
I knew when
Orale.
my grandma was cussing in Spanish, I knew what that stuff meant.
I learned orale pues before I learned how to complete sentences. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then I got more interested in it, and same with my pops. So we, you know, learned more, and
Yeah.
eventually became self-taught to where
Mm-hmm.
we can travel, to different places and be able to get around type deal.
Oh wow. So you understand it fluently? Like you could if someone's talking to it. Wow.
The
How did you
songs
teach
and
yourself
everything.
though? Like how were you self-taught? What did you use? Just
Believe
YouTube?
it, believe it or not, the same way a lot of paisas learn English and is by music.
Oh, okay.
So I listened to
Wow.
a lot of, believe it or not, I listened to a lot of reggaeton.
Oh, okay.
When I lived on the East Coast, so I kind of
Hmm.
picked up a lot of Spanish when I was listening to reggaeton. So I can listen to pretty much every reggaeton song and understand what they're saying. A lot of it's pretty dirty, but
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
and then I
Hmm.
got into listening to corridos, which that's
Yeah.
like Pluma stuff like that, and then I understand that, and that's more so talking about the bad shits and the hardships that's happening over in Mexico,
Yeah.
cartel
So
shit.
there's a couple songs that like I'll hear and it sounds like really sad, like song for music. So I'll look at
Yeah,
the lyrics and then the lyrics are like really sad. Like you translate them and it just makes the song so much better when you actually understand what they're
yeah.
saying and feel that like emotion. I like that. Makes it a
Majority of
lot.
corridos, majority of
Hmm.
those that type of music is pretty sad,
Yeah.
and it talks about cartel shit that happens over
Yeah.
there. The hardships, and people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, you should travel to Mexico. That's where your family's from." No,
Yeah. And I'll
I'm,
say here.
I'm not Mexican enough for them. I'm not
Yeah.
American enough
Oh
for
no,
here.
for sure. And that's crazy. Like they don't accept you in your own culture because you're too Americanized for them.
Yeah, like you can have it in your
It's just
blood, but
like
if you just not from there, like
they know. Yeah.
yeah, they know you just have a
Uh-huh.
different vibe type deal. And Spanish is different. You know,
Hmm.
they speak like the way they speak Spanish is much more fluid, much more what's it called? Just ties together. Like obviously because they
Yeah.
grew up around it. So I could speak Spanish in a Mexican accent that I know, but it won't be enough for them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
You know,
Yeah. I've only crossed the border. Like I've never gone anywhere else in Mexico, like just into TJ.
Tijuana.
Yeah. That's the only
Tijuana,
place in
Tijuana.
Mexico
I
I've
heard
been.
Tijuana's not too bad though. Like a lot of people take trips over to Tijuana.
Hmm. I don't know nowadays, but I'm still scared. I don't want to go. I only went as a child.
So
I don't want to go as an adult.
do you know a lot about your background?
I don't. So my background, like when we did our DNA, it was like European, Spanish descent, and it says Native American, but also like I don't have family in Mexico. I don't have a town in Mexico that I know where I'm from. But my family has been either from Texas or California, which used to be part of Mexico. So I don't
Yeah,
really know. We really have no idea.
yeah, I got
And
you.
I don't have living family members
You
that I
did
could
the
say,
you did the
huh?
23andMe, huh?
Yeah.
I did that too.
Did you
So
find out a lot of different heritage?
I did, and
Yeah.
for the longest time, a lot of my family believed because Colorado was also, especially the southern part, was part of Mexico too.
Uh-huh.
At some point, we thought our family was just there the whole fucking time.
Uh-huh.
But come to find out, like they came from Mexico at some point in time,
Mm-hmm. So did you
came
ever
through.
find out where? Like what part?
Yeah, so they
Okay.
can't. So what it? Well, not exactly, but you know how like it when it says Mexico, it shows the different regions and it puts it as
Yes.
like a category of 1 to 10 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
One was Jalisco, which makes sense because I have lighter skin
Mm-hmm.
tone compared to
Yeah.
most Mexicans, right? But starting from Jalisco, and I'm guessing they settled in Texas, then in New Mexico, and then ended up in
Hmm.
Colorado somehow. So
Yeah.
you know, it would be interesting to see, like, to really know more about how that worked,
Yeah.
what
I
exactly
want to know
happened.
too. Like you could do the tree. Have you seen? I haven't got deep enough in the tree, like connecting it to see how
Right.
far your roots go. Like I don't know enough family to go
So there's
further
someone
initial.
there's someone on my 23 that's doing the complete tree or whatever. That's
Oh,
fixing
okay.
for everybody. Yeah. But it's
Wow.
funny because when you look at the connections part, where you see everybody that's connected to you,
Uh-huh.
majority of them are Mexicans with different last names. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
I have people in my tree that I don't know and they're like super close and I'm like, who is that person? Like,
Yeah,
and where did they come from? Like how like you try to follow it down like your DNA is just so closely matched. I'm like, my father probably had kids somewhere else.
yeah.
The same daddy.
I've
Yeah.
seen people with my last name. I've seen a bunch of Herreras. I've seen
Hmm.
Espinozas. I've seen all kinds of different last names. I'm like, damn, majority are Mexicans here.
Yeah, and when I'm on live and people are like, "What are you? What are you?" Like I'm just saying Mexican and Spanish. That's but because like my DNA thing was like I want to say it was like 59% or 49%, something like that, like European Spanish descent, and it's like just a smaller portion of Mexican or a Native American, and then there's a couple little other
Yeah.
things in
What
there.
was what was
But
the
then they
percentage?
ask me where in Spain. Where are you? Like, are you from Spain? Like, what part? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what part of Mexico. I
I
just know
wouldn't
that
even
I
say
am.
from I wouldn't even say from Spain just because it's like
Yeah, like it's just a Spanish settler. I have no idea.
yeah, it was a mixture.
Just over there somewhere.
Some
Uh-huh.
Spaniard dropped his fluids somewhere,
That's all
and
I say.
then
Those colonizers, they came over.
yeah, So yeah, I
Hmm.
wouldn't even say
I have no
Spaniard.
idea. So I can't even say now I just say, oh, I'm Mexican, I'm Mexican. And then it's still what town? What town? I was like, I don't know.
So you were
It's
born
hard.
in the States though, right?
I was born in California. My mom was born in California. My grandmother was born in California.
So
My
you could
great
always just
grandmother was
say
in Texas.
you
So
can
it's
always
just
just
so hard.
you can always just say what I say,
But
Chicano, like I'm Chicano.
Chicana, yeah.
And if people don't know what that means, Mexican American.
Yeah.
That it's very much more simpler that way.
But I would like to know. Like I would love to know the exact town that my family originated in on both sides.
Well,
Like,
that's what I don't like about 23andMe is it doesn't give you exact anything.
hmm,
Like you
yeah.
said, it'll say Indigenous American,
Uh-huh.
but it won't say what tribe. It won't go into
Yeah.
depth. And then when it says you're from a or when you have family from a particular region like Mexico,
Hmm.
El Salvador, or whatever, it won't tell you exactly where. It'll just
Yeah, it
say this
doesn't
is what's
pinpoint. Uh-huh.
most likely to be. So
Hmm.
Jalisco happened to be number one. So for you, when it showed Mexico, what was number one on that list?
I don't know. It didn't even show Mexico. It showed Native America.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Not.
I
I
have to
mean,
look at it again. I have to like look into it. But yeah, it was, I was like, but my mom is like, we were giving her shit, me and my sister, because we're like, you've always told us we were Mexican our whole lives, and we're not even Mexican. It doesn't say it here. And then she's like, you're a Mexican. I'm like, no, we're not. You lied to us. And we
yeah.
feel guilty for not knowing Spanish, and you lied. But I guess we're Mexican. That's what.
No, that's what's weird. Is I even have like old head family members that are like, we're not Mexican because we're not from Mexico. Like I have,
I guess you are. Yeah.
I'm like, we have the blood. You know what I'm saying? When we say
Yeah.
Mexican, we're talking about the bloodline. We're not talking about that
Mm-hmm.
from there. What I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's always been like an argument between the family type of deal. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting where that thought comes in.
Mm-hmm. I'm
But
Mexican. I think I relate.
like you said, 23andMe is weird because I forgot to point that out. I have a lot of family members where it doesn't show Mexico on theirs either. It'll just show
Hmm.
the Spanish and then it'll show the Indigenous American.
Yeah.
And then for me and some others, it'll show Mexico as the region. So I'm kind of like
Hmm.
taking that away for some people. Like, what's actually going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know
It's
what's funny is I have like a ton of different things. There's like 1% this, 1% that, like 1% black, 2% that, like stuff like that.
let
And
me guess.
my sister's boyfriend, huh?
I'm gonna guess the black. It was sub-Saharan African.
Oh, okay. Really? I can't remember what mine said. I
Oh no,
want to say it
I was
was.
guessing yours.
No, I want to say it was something like that.
So
Um,
what
but
mine
my
said,
sister's boyfriend had
yeah,
two. That's it. Nothing like ours are all over the place crazy. And
yeah,
he's white. He's white and he had two different, it was like Irish and German. Something that's it. There
and
was
that's it.
nothing all over the map. And then with us, like if you're Latina, like you're a mutt. You have all these different things inside of you.
Right.
Like from all over the world.
Yeah, right. Ashkenazi Jew. I saw that on mine too. So the
Oh yeah, I
thing
had
with
some Jew in mine too. Some Jewish.
yeah, so
Yeah.
what I learned too, because I'm pretty sure if you check it again, it'll say Sub-Saharan African,
Uh
then it'll
huh.
say Ashkenazi Jewish. So a lot of
Love
Mexicans
that.
have Sub-Saharan African in them, and they
Mm-hmm.
have Ashkenazi Jew, and then they have Lebanese.
Okay, I'm about to
Like
look.
that's something I had to learn later on. So I was like, oh shit, no wonder we all have this shit right now.
Uh huh.
Mine obviously
Interesting.
says I have more Asian than any other because of my mom's side,
Uh huh.
yeah. But yeah,
Dang.
you'll see it says Sub-Saharan African and Ashkenazi Jewish, and I think Lebanese. Yeah,
Dang, we might be related.
I strongly feel like the conquistadors. You know what I'm saying? The conquerors, the
Uh-huh.
same people, the same Spaniards that fuck
Yeah, I did it all of them.
females, fucked other females. So in some way, shape, or form, I feel like we are all related.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Like we're related to Puerto Ricans, we're related to Cubans, we're related to
Uh-huh.
everybody else in some type of way because those were the same conquerors.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, if you want to go that far down the family tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, it's interesting.
it's weird to get in depth like that, but that's how kind of how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what is your last name?
Menendez, like the Menendez brothers. It's a Spanish last
Mendes?
name too. Hmm.
Okay, mine's Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Okay, that's very
Yeah,
like common.
and then I have a I have a misspelled middle name. It's supposed to
Do you?
it's supposed to be Emiliano, but it's spelled like Emiliano.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And they never got it corrected? Or you didn't want to
Well,
pay, you're just like, believe
it
it.
wasn't even on me. So what happened was I'm a junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my grandpa fucked up my
Oh.
dad's name.
Uh-huh.
And so that's how that happened. And I'm a junior, so I had to come with the fucked up middle name too.
Oh, okay. So my son, he's a third and he has two first names because his grandfather, it was supposed to be a middle name, but when they did the birth certificate, it was combined into the one name. So he
Yeah.
has two first names. And then so my ex-husband had two first names. So now my son has two first names.
Oh
No middle
shit.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any family members that have the hyphenated last names?
no, they just
I
dropped
don't
it.
either.
They
Yeah,
just dropped it. They didn't need to keep it.
I
There's a
don't
lot
either.
of I feel like there's a lot of super like if you're from Mexico and you're
License.
here,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're Mexican, you use that. You don't drop your last name. You just hyphen your new
It's
husband's
not
name.
even just them. I just if you come from
Really?
that country, like you'll see Cubans with the hyphenated last
Cuban
name,
too? Yeah.
Dominicans, Puerto Rican, everybody,
Yeah,
Colombian.
because the only people that I know with the hyphen last name are like super Mexican. Like
Like
they're just, yeah,
yeah, the paisas. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're straight like
Which I'm like, if I
Mexicans.
hyphenated mine, like I think it would look weird. So nah, I'm not doing
Why
that.
would you hyphen? Oh, because your parents. I'm like, wait, you want to get married and use your, yeah,
I would never hyphenate mine.
yeah,
I like what my name is. I'm gonna keep it that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But what's it called? I've known a lot of people that just
Hmm.
hyphenated it. I don't. It's weird because it's like it goes the father's name and then the mom's name after type deal.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
I don't
know
do that.
how it works. Yeah,
Mhm.
but we are about at that hour mark. But before we close out, we have a Q&A. And you're just
Oh,
gonna answer 5 questions, and I'm gonna say in advance, some of them
okay,
are probably weird because everybody asks their own questions. Think of it like a TikTok live comment, I guess.
okay,
People ask whatever they want, and I just pick random, and we go from there. Type.
okay.
All right, so here's the first one.
Light skins or dark skins? Damn. I'll say light skins. I'll say light
Light
skins.
skin. Okay, what makes you say light skin? I'm just curious.
I would say that the people that I've dated have all been like if I've dated a person of color, like it's been a light skin.
Okay,
Just what
I don't
I've
know if
dated.
you're asking like for that or like light skin or
Light
dark
skins.
skin black, like I don't, because that's also a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, either way, usually it's like I'm
Lighter
pretty
skin,
dark myself though, so I don't
you
know.
look kind of light,
Like maybe it's just the lighting, but I'm like, yeah,
probably.
I'm like my darkest sibling.
I think you're definitely darker than I am. No, I'm like a yellow.
Yeah, I'm tan all year long. Like I'm
Yeah,
just tan.
yeah. See, what is up with that? Because like I get probably like almost around that color in the summertime. The wintertime hits, I turn like
Hmm.
yellowish type, lighter
Yeah,
color.
not me. I'm tan all year long.
I guess it's because I'm a snow Mexican. I don't know what's going on here. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you cover your eyes or your whole face? For certain situations, you cover your eyes, your whole
What
face.
are they asking, bro?
I feel like I go like this. I don't know. I don't
You
think
go like what?
that's.
I'm sorry. I was thrown off
I
by
think
that.
my whole face. I don't know.
The whole face. What would
That's a
make
random one. For
that was
certain
different.
situations, like am I scared or something?
I don't know.
Am I gonna be surprised?
I was
Depends.
I'm always thrown off by that. What the fuck? So like I'm a carry off on that. So for situations where you do have to do that, what would make you cover your face? I guess.
I don't know, scary, like gory scene in a movie. I don't know.
So go or like a scary scene maybe.
Yeah.
So like, what scary movie made you do that?
Shoot, there was one I watched recently. Dang it, the Thanksgiving one. Did you see it? It was a horror movie that
I saw
came out
the
around Thanksgiving.
trailer. I saw the trailer, but I didn't watch the movie.
It's bad and it's gory, like really gory. So I want to say that one. There's like a lot of blood and gore.
Right. So
Yeah.
how did you react to that? So
I don't know. I just cover my eyes like this and wait for like the scene to pass.
I feel like that's not covering your. I feel like that's just like putting your hands there. Like that's just
Maybe I
shit.
don't then. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That was an
That's
interesting,
random.
very much so random.
You don't write these questions, someone else does?
So what I do, I'm gonna just put this out. So people ask random questions, right?
Uh,
The same way I make the posters without
oh,
even
okay.
really looking. I just copy it, put it on the poster under Q&A, and then
Okay.
put it on here, and that's it. I don't even look if it's weird or not. Like, because I mean, like
Okay.
I would, but at the same time, I feel like if I just discluded every question,
Yeah.
you would be like, wow, like I'm very picky and choosy about questions.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
better to have
even
them random like that. That's good.
right, right, and I feel like no matter how weird they are, I feel like even the weirder questions can like bring some
Hmm.
type of vibe. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's just me, but I feel like always bring some type of vibe because it's like what the
Hmm.
fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Random. So
Yes, white toes are overrated in my opinion.
I
Like,
think
why? Why I don't understand even where the white toes thing came from. Like, I always like my toes to match my hands, so I'm not gonna stick with just white toes all the time.
what the
And I love
nails on
white
your
toes.
hands are white, so
No, they're not. Look, they're like designed.
oh, okay, that was just the glare. So
So
they're
it
like
just
a pinkish.
depends. Like whatever. I think they're overrated. Like I don't know where that whole white toenails came from. Do you know where it came from? Like why was it a thing?
I have an idea, and I want to say again, celebrities. People like to follow celebrities and do all kinds
Uh
of shit. Maybe that I don't know, but it's
yeah.
been a thing for a while. I think.
It has been. I think it's overrated though.
I myself don't really have like a foot fetish. I don't really look at
Uh
feet like that. But I would say white toes are like a bright colored toes. In my
uh
opinion, look better than darker colored.
uh.
But I guess it
Okay.
depends on skin tone. I don't really know.
Yeah.
White toes don't look bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think they look bad. I
I'm
like
not
them. I've
big
had them
on
white
it.
before. It's just not. I think they're overrated. Everybody hypes them up that they want white toes all the
So
time.
so there's a thing where they say like if you have white toes, you a hoe type shit. So it's like
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
You on the streets if you got white toes. I don't
Yeah. I
know.
know. Well, now I'm not gonna get white toes.
Yeah. What number was that? Was that number 4? Was that question 4? I lost count.
I think so.
We'll go
We
for another.
skipped one because we started talking.
Right.
The one we skipped was the long term goals. My long
Another.
term goals are to finish college. So after my daughter graduated high school and was going to college, I decided to go back to college. So I finished
Okay.
my associates. I'm working on my bachelor's right now. So that's my long term goal right now is to finish. Just keep it pushing.
Okay. That's a good goal to have. What are you majoring in?
Sociology.
Sociology. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
scared of college. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I
Yeah.
did pretty damn mediocre in high school.
Oh, I did too.
And I
Yeah.
was the COVID class too. So like when
Oh,
shit first went online, I was like,
yes.
I'm not doing
My
nothing.
daughter too. She didn't have prom. She didn't have nothing
Nope. And she probably
because
didn't
of
want to do schoolwork.
2002.
She probably didn't
Yeah.
want to do schoolwork either because I said, fuck
Uh-uh.
that. I'm not
No,
doing
they just passed everybody.
Yeah, they had
That's
to
it.
because that was like the first thing to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like not school, whatever. But I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. I get a
Hmm.
diploma.
Yeah.
I had a whole D, probably possibly a D minus in math. So
Oh
That's
dang.
not my big thing, but
Yeah.
still
You
got that.
passed?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what kind of scared me of doing college classes. I'm like, man, if I did that
Yeah.
shit, like, imagine if I went in the next step and did
Mhm.
college classes, I might fuck up. Like, I don't know.
It's hard. I do. Like it's hard. This last semester I fucked up. Like I passed, but it was a struggle.
Yeah.
It's really
I
hard to
think
pass.
sociology is probably hard to study too, though, because that
It's
falls under the what is it,
it's a
psychology?
science. Yeah, it's a science. So there's a lot of like a lot to know.
Yeah, I ended
It's
up
like a
having
science degree.
when I took psychology, I ended up having a C. I didn't understand that shit.
Oh, really?
It was
Yeah.
hard for me. Like it was
It
hard.
is hard. It's a lot to learn.
Yeah, it really fucks with the brain, literally. So,
Yeah.
but we're gonna go ahead and end that off here. I
All
appreciate you
right.
coming on. It was a good vibe. I fuck with it. I feel like the same, good energy type vibe you bring to your TikTok lives you brought here. So, I really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate that, and I fuck with it. It was a
All right.
good
Well,
episode.
thank you. I enjoyed it. It's
Absolutely.
nice chatting with you. All
You too.
right. Bye.